How's it going, y'all? I'm Danny, this is the Texas Trailhead, and today I'm at Lockhart State Park. Lockhart State Park is a CCC park, and it's actually the last golf course maintained by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. So that's pretty cool. You'll see people hopefully playing golf when you enter towards the headquarters. It's right there to the right. Right now I'm heading towards one of the trails that offers some really cool water views. The only thing is the nearest parking lot's a little bit down the road because a lot of this is paved and you really don't want to park on the dirt. Lockhart State Park does have a lot of cool water features and a lot of structures that are still left behind from the CCC, including a lot of really cool stone dams that you'll see on the water around the area. So let's get onto one of the trails and see what else we can find. I'm on the Clear Fork Trail, and it looks like I'm at the end of the trail because there's, oh no, there's a way around. I definitely feel like I'm in the jungle because it is humid AF. If you don't know what that is, Google it or ask one of your kiddos, but I started sweating pretty much as soon as I got on this trail. So the water's not moving super quickly, and it is really, really humid at this park right now. But thankfully, I've got a good amount of water and some electrolyte fluid too, but it is neat to see some of the parts of this park on a trail that I've actually not been on yet. Despite it being kind of a smaller park, there are some trails here that I have yet to explore, which I'm excited to do today. I had been here once before, but it was to test out my new bike, and I learned really quickly that this park might be a little bit too much for me. In terms of skill level, so I'm going to check out some of the places that I struggle with on my bike and check them out on foot. So let's keep hiking. One of the super cute activities they have going on here at Lockhart State Park is a little story hike. You follow along The Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carlisle, one of my daughter's favorite books, and I'm sure some of y'all's favorites as well. So as you, instead of like an interpretive trail, as you walk down the trail, you're reading the book. Each little section is a different page. So that's pretty cool. It's on a neat little easier trail, but it's right next to some of the water, so you have some pretty cool views to check out as well. I wasn't expecting to have that many mosquitoes, and I've already gotten bitten a few times, so I'm grabbing my Murphy's Naturals mosquito repellent balm, just like a little stick, part of my just day hiking essentials. I'll put a full list in the description for some of the things that I brought. I have my hydration from Liquid IV, just really good electrolytes. my sunscreen stick. I've got additional snacks. You know, my favorite, Kate's Real Food snacks. And then I'll talk about this a little bit more and probably in my Instagram video recap for this, but my Clean Freak wipes. If I know there's not going to be a shower, I always grab some Clean Freak wipes to wipe down, just so I'm not super gross on my drive home. And then some Dr. Bronner's peppermint organic hand sanitizer, just if I go into a restroom or something, I have that. So yeah, let's finish our hike for the day. So a lot of the state parks in Texas have a recreation hall. The one at Lockhart State Park is cool because for a while this was the golf course clubhouse. It also served as a pavilion and just a general community gathering spot. But according to some of the signage here at the park, some of the locals still remember this as a little dance hall that guests could come hang out at and cut some rug a little bit. So the CCC built water tower just behind me had the water for the entire state park, but what was also cool about it is it was used as a shelter for golfers that were waiting to tee off on what was known as the tallest tee box in Texas. It's no longer used anymore, but the green is now hole number 6 on the golf course. Can you guess what this stone structure is just behind me? If you've watched my previous video at Bastrop State Park, you might already have a heads up. And if you guessed water fountain, you'd be right. You'll see a lot of these CCC built water fountains that are still here today. Just beyond this recreation hall, you can see a small picnic area that's definitely not used as much as it used to be after the 1930s when this park was built. But it is cool to see some of the parts that were used for picnic areas with the stone tables that are still here. And a couple fire rings if you're sleuthy enough and you look off into the distance. You can see where there might have been some other campsites here as well. It's one of the great things I love about the CCC parks is there's so much history, and with every visit you'll find something new. So I just hopped on the Caddy Trail. I'll be taking the Caddy Trail to the Chisolm Trail, over to the Hilltop Trail. So while it's not a super big park, you can definitely loop or link some of these trails together to extend your miles. Not a whole lot of people out today. This is a relatively smaller park that falls under the radar. Which is fine by me because it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to do a little bit more exploring and see some of the other trails and what they're like hiking on today. Caddy Trail is a pretty fun trail. You will approach the golf course again, really shaded. But again, this is August 2021, and this area of Texas has really been receiving a lot of rainfall. So it's still really lush, but it does remind me of Tyler State Park, where it's really green, but it's really, really humid. So despite the shade, it's still pretty toasty. Just pausing to admire the bird song all around me. If you're into birding, there's definitely some great bird watching opportunities at this park because it's away from kind of a major city. Austin's a pretty good drive from here. There's a woodpecker off in the distance. It seems still somewhat untouched by the big city life, so it's a great natural state park. So reason 5,201 why you should always bring more water than you need. I was on the Caddy Trail looking to hike down to the Comanche Loop and Chisolm Trail, and I guess there was a little bit of an oversight, but that Caddy Trail that I needed to get to the road on doesn't actually exist anymore, which is a little frustrating. But I kind of walked back and forth for about 20 minutes looking for what was going to take me to this little part right here, but the trail that comes down to the road is actually closed off. So once I finally made my way back up to the recreation building, the CCC one, I had a little bit of a snack and kind of checked my water levels, and we're gonna do this trail the old-fashioned way. I just looked for where it was supposed to be and realized it was all covered in branches and stuff, so it's definitely closed off. Anyways, all that to say that I'm back on the connecting trail, which is the Rattlesnake Run Trail. So I'm gonna go here. It's getting pretty toasty. It's been hot all day, but there is a little bit of a breeze right now, so I'm gonna try to take advantage of that. I just refilled my water. As you saw, I had my Grail water filtration bottle, so I was able to filter some water and add some of my Liquid IV electrolytes. So I'm feeling pretty good, despite just kind of overall sweaty. But it is August in Texas, and we're gonna hike on this a little bit. I just really want to go to the Chisolm Trail and the Comanche Overlook before I leave, so I'm gonna try to knock that out. Just like the El Camino Real Trail, the Chisolm Trail has a ton of significance in this area. And while it wasn't clearly marked, I'm willing to bet that that opening was some sort of pathway in some part of time and history. I don't know. I'm no scientist, and I didn't really want to walk off trail very far, but one could only imagine what was coming through these areas and through this park. So pretty neat to see stuff like that. So the Comanche Loop actually apexes on an overlook. So imagine being a Comanche checking out the land below looking for intruders. So unfortunately the Chisolm Trail is not a loop. So I pretty much have to just walk back, from which the way I came down to the Rattlesnake Trail. Didn't see any rattlesnakes today, but I guess that's a good thing. So I'm going to make my way back to the car. There is a whole other section of the Chisolm Trail that takes you back to that creekside trail that I started the day on, which was the original plan, but you know, things change. And I got to still see the parts of the park that I wanted to today. And I hope you enjoyed seeing what Lockhart has to offer. Thanks for coming along with me as I hike Lockhart State Park. Until next time, grab your backpack, put on your hiking shoes, and go out on another adventure. This is the Texas Trailhead.